Hello, everyone. It's me, Christa Parry. Perhaps you remember me from the play In-Laws, Outlaws, and Other People That Should Be Shot, in which I appeared with my husband, Christopher. Now, to tell you the truth, we didn't do a lot of acting in that play because our characters, Bud and Bunny, are pretty much who we are. So, how did we become Chris and Christa, aka Bud and Bunny? It all started in the summer of 1983. His mother and my mother met playing bingo, and somewhere along the line I met his mom as well. She thought I was a really nice girl and that I might be a good match for her son. So she badgered both of us all summer long until we finally agreed that we would meet. So on a specific Friday night, we both showed up, and when I walked in, we agreed it was love at first sight. Well, I had to take a small detour because when I first saw him, he was sitting next to another girl. And I thought, well, this is a really neat trick. I come to meet your son and he brings a date. Well, it turns out it was his sister. Good thing, too, because I thought he was adorable. And it turns out he was a guy I would like to date. We had a really great time that night at bingo, and I won $50 and him all in the same night. Well, exactly 1 week later, he invited me to join his family and go to the Illinois State Fair. So he picked me up at 5 a.m. I don't know how many of you have gone on a date that started at 5 a.m., let alone your first date, but there we were. So we got in his car and he'd brought his dog. Now, this next part's not going to endear me to some of you, but I'm going to admit I'm not particularly a dog person. I mean, I don't kick dogs or anything, and I enjoy a cute dog video as much as anyone else. I just don't want one crawling all over me. And his promptly did. And she wasn't a small dog. This dog was the size approximately of a small compact car, and she decided that she would climb over me. And he said, oh, she thinks she's a lap dog, and he laughed. He thought it was hysterical. Well, I didn't. But I really liked him, so I decided that I could overlook his dog climbing on me this one time. So we got to his house, and we met up with the other people who would be accompanying us on our first date, and we promptly climbed into the family station wagon. His mom and dad in the front, his teenage sisters and two of their friends in the middle, and he and I in the back jump seat facing the other way. It was really quite lovely because it seemed like we were sort of all by ourselves, and we had the chance to talk and get to know each other. Well, somewhere along the way, his dad pulled over to the side of the road and took a picture of the odometer because it had turned over 100,000 miles. Chris was horrified. I found it endearing. We continued on our way to the Illinois State Fair. Now, I had never been to a state fair, so we saw the sights, we ate saltwater taffy, and we did the things you do at a state fair. And to be perfectly honest, I don't really remember all that much about the day, except for at one point, as we were walking together hand in hand, somebody had yelled out, "Does anybody know what time it is?" At which point, he and I both at the exact same time yelled, "Does anybody really care?" It was then I knew that he was the one. We would be together forever. Well, we returned home in the early evening, and he dropped me off, and shortly after, I heard a knock at my door, and it was him. And he said, "I had such a good time. I just wasn't ready for it to be over." So, on a beautiful August night, we spent a couple more hours talking on the patio. So, exactly 1 year later, he asked me to marry him. And exactly 2 years and 5 days after our first meeting, we were married. When he asked me to marry him, his mom said, "Well, I didn't want you to get married. I just wanted you to date." My mom said she thought we were too young, 20 and 19. Well, my husband likes to say, it worked out. We celebrated our 35th wedding anniversary last summer during the derecho. We have 2 children who are grown and married, and a granddaughter who is the light of our lives. I could not imagine doing this crazy ride called life with anybody other than who I'm with, and I would not want anybody else to be the bud to my bunny. So 37 and a half years ago, that bingo game is still paying off for me. that's our story. I hope you enjoyed it. Happy Valentine's Day.